So this book remember Harry the Dirty Dog? This was about the time he went to the beach with his family. So it's called Harry by the Sea. And it's written by Jean Zion with pictures by Margaret Bloy Graham. And here they go. They're on their way to the beach. Harry was a white dog with black spots who liked everything about the seashore except the hot sun. One day, when the sun was hotter than ever, Harry looked for a shady place to sit. But when he tried to get under the family's beach umbrella, it was too crowded. The family made him leave. So then when he crawled into the children's sandcastle, well, the walls fell in and the children chased him away. So then he walked in the shade of this lady. And after a while, she became angry and she told him to stop following her. Get lost, she said. She was really very annoyed. The sun was very hot, and Harry had walked a long way from the main beach. He was tired. So he sat down by the water's edge, and all of a sudden, a big wave came from behind, and it crashed right on top of him. He's going to get really wet. So then the wave rolled back, and Harry was left floating in the water. He was completely covered with seaweed. He didn't look like a dog anymore. He looked like something from the bottom of the sea. Suddenly, this lady saw him floating toward her, and she said, "Help! Help! It's a sea monster!" The lifeguard heard her and blew his whistle. "Everybody out," he shouted. "Everybody out!" So everyone ran out of the water, and so did Harry. He was still covered with that cold, wet seaweed. It actually made him feel really good and cool and comfortable. So he didn't mind the sun at all with that wet seaweed on him. He felt so good that he started running back to his family. But on his way, some people saw him and they said, "Oh, it's a sea serpent. Oh, it's a giant sandworm." Harry had water in his ears and he could hardly hear them. He kept on running towards the main beach. But when he got there, Harry stopped and stared. Instead of just his family's umbrella, there were hundreds of umbrellas, and they all looked the same. They were all striped, and he couldn't tell which one was his family's umbrella. Suddenly, these two attendants saw him, and they said, "Oh, holy smoke, what is that?" "It's a bushy-backed sea slug," said the other. They whispered for a moment, and then they ran. Let's see where they were running. So while they were running, Harry went from umbrella to umbrella, but he couldn't find his family. Everyone wore sun hats and sunglasses and had suntan oil, just like his family. He looked and he sniffed very hard, but it was no use. He couldn't tell one family from another. Suddenly, the two beach attendants came running back. They were carrying a big trash basket, and they ran towards Harry. "Stand back," one of them said to the crowd. "We're going to catch it and take it to the aquarium," said the other. So they tiptoed right up behind Harry, and they raised that trash basket over his head. Harry didn't know the beach attendants were behind him. He was listening to something over there. He thought he heard somebody calling his name. There it was again. "Hurry, hurry, hurry." But he thought it was saying, "Harry, Harry, Harry." He didn't wait a second. Just as that basket came down, he started to run. He was running right out from under that basket. It happened so fast that the beach attendants just stood there with their mouths opened. He raced through the crowd, and some of the people were screaming and running, but Harry paid no attention. He was running over this way on the beach. When he got to the hot dog stand, and he stopped and he barked happily. Behind that counter, the hot dog man was shouting, but his voice sounded like he was saying, "Harry, Harry, Harry," but that's not what he was saying. He was saying, "Hurry, hurry, hurry, get them while they're hot." Harry still thought that man was calling his name. He barked and he jumped up and down. He jumped so much that suddenly the seaweed fell off of him. And the crowd saw that Harry was a dog. He was not a bushy-backed sea slug after all. They could hardly believe their eyes. And then Harry was jumping higher and higher, and his children were coming. And they said, "Oh, Harry, we heard you bark. We've been looking all over for you." Harry was so happy, he did a little dance. And the hot dog man was very grateful to Harry for bringing the crowd to his stand. He sold all the hot dogs he had, and he gave Harry a free hamburger. The lady who had told Harry to get lost came along, and she bought him a cold drink. "You're no sea monster," she said. "You're just a lost hot dog." Everybody laughed except for the two children, and they said, "He's not lost. He's Harry. He's ours." So they hurried off to join the rest of the family. So the next time that Harry's family went to the beach, they brought a new umbrella. Harry liked this one very much. It was white with black spots. And no matter how crowded the beach became, it was easy to find. And best of all, it was big. And when the sun got very hot, there was room underneath for the whole family, including Harry. And that's this one.